Hi and welcome. My name is Vinyasa Yoga, and today I will guide you through a soothing flow. The purpose of this movement and breath work practice is to shift us from a state perhaps of stress, tension, and overwhelm into a state of deep, calm tranquility. You might be familiar with the term parasympathetic state of the nervous system. This is where we want to go to. That's the state of the nervous system where we can rest, digest, our immune functioning is working at best, where we are also more able to connect socially with other people. We will be starting with a couple of relaxation techniques for the neck and the shoulders, and then we move on into a breathing technique that you can really take away whenever you need it to feel calm during the day. We move on into a very short standing practice just to get the whole body moving, and we finish off with some long held stretches. So let's begin into any comfortable seated position, and you might want to rest your hands onto the knees. Take your time to press your seat bones deeply into the ground and feel perhaps that immediately the spine gets a little longer. You can keep your eyes closed or soft just as a moment to arrive in space, especially if you had a busy day already. And from here we start moving the shoulders all the way to the ears and then pressing them back and down. And again, a big circle of the shoulders up and back and down. And as you do this simple rolling of the shoulders, you might notice how you're feeling today in your body, with no judgment. Just notice, how is your mind? How is your breath? How is your body doing? Let's go for one more circle. Lovely. As you arrive, begin lifting through your left arm. Take a full inhale. Exhale, reach your right fingertips to the side and lengthen sideways. You can bend through the bottom elbow. You can drop the head fully. If you feel like closing your eyes, naturally go for it. Perhaps sense some opening under the left armpit. And come back into center to the other side, right arm up. And as you exhale, reach up and over. Again, allow your body to do anything that feels natural, perhaps. It feels natural to relax the chin down or to move a little bit. Come back into center. And now lift your left arm one more time, but rest your fingertips on the side of your right ear. Inhale. And as you exhale, tilt gently sideways. And now begin sensing any opening, the space between your right ear and your right shoulder, perhaps getting a bit longer and wider. And as you do that, allow your breath to fully slow down. So take all the time you need to fill your lungs and empty your lungs. And allow your jaw to soften. Anything that feels natural to you, even exhaling through your mouth, you can do it. And then come back into center and swap. So bringing your right arm up. Allow the right ear to soften to the right shoulder, and the left arm as well becomes pretty heavy to the side. So one of the biggest takeaways from this practice you might want to just keep in your mind is that by lengthening the neck and releasing tension from your shoulders, you have a very powerful tool to shift your nervous system into a calm state. In the neck, you can imagine you got lots of receptors and sensors that can communicate to the brain how much tension is stored in the muscles. And now, anytime your neck is tense, you are communicating to the brain that you are a bit in a state of danger, you need to be alert. But when the neck is fully soft and relaxed, your brain receives a message that everything around you is safe, calm, and so your mind can start thinking from that place of calm tranquility. So come back into center and let's drop the chin to the chest. You can keep your fingertips down to the floor. And as you drop the chin, again, notice if you can feel perhaps some challenge in fully relaxing the neck, perhaps not. So simply let the chin move to the chest. Allow the shoulders to be broad and spacious. And with each exhalation, feel that your head is getting a bit heavier, but in a good way, like it's getting more relaxed. And then slowly bring the chin to the front and lift it up. So open into the throat. And we repeat this movement. We're going to exhale to move the chin to the chest. And we inhale to lift the chin back and up. Soft the jaw, soft the mouth. One last time. So restoring that mobility, that spaciousness into your neck. And now we move into a full circle. So draw the chin to the chest. And nice and easy, move it towards your left shoulder. Take a moment to stay. Feel your right shoulder is plugging down. And by pressing your sit bones into the floor more, start circling your head to the side and up, to the right and down. Let's go 2 more times. And go in your own speed. No need to do what I'm doing. You can always skip some places that feel a bit more delicate. You can do this super small. Good. One last time, lubricating all the joints, all the vertebrae in your neck. And then when you're ready, reverse the circle, moving the chin to the right shoulder, resting for a moment to feel the left shoulder plugging down, and then moving up and over. Allowing your mouth, your forehead, all your muscles in the face to be soft. Imagine this is a lovely massage you're doing to your neck. Beautiful. Let's do this one last time. And when you're ready to come all the way back into center and slowly roll back and up. So if your legs feel a bit uncomfortable, just allow them to shake a little bit. You can move them forward and flip the feet in and out. We're going to come now into the breathing part. So you can cross perhaps the other shin in front. And I invite you to take one hand to touch the floor. If you're on a chair, you can touch a chair. And the other hand can go either on your chest or on your belly. So maybe if you know there is an area of the torso that doesn't really move much or feels a bit stiff, I encourage you to send your attention to that place. You can keep your eyes closed or downcast, whatever makes you feel safer and more connected. And we begin a technique of breathing that emphasizes the exhalation over to the inhalation. So anytime we exhale, this is really what biologically happens into our body. We slow down the heart rate and we shift a little bit into that parasympathetic, calm, rest and digest state. Anytime we inhale, on the contrary, we stimulate the system. So we will try and inhale for 4 counts and then exhale for 6 counts so that we can have a bit more relaxation over the stimulation. But of course, if this technique doesn't work for you, if actually makes you feel more anxious than before, there is nothing wrong with you. It's just something that we can, number 1, practice. So sometimes it takes time. And number 2, that might be maybe the option to change it a little bit depending on your breath history, depending on how this feels on your body. So let's give it a try. If it doesn't work, you can skip it or maybe try again. And with patience, it can really become a powerful tool in your hands to use every day. So let's start by, again, closing the eyes if you wish to, or just keep the gaze on a spot around you without overly obsess on that point so you can keep your awareness to the breath. Let's begin taking a very generous and calm and pleasant inhalation. Maybe noticing if the chest and belly are moving. And now exhale, relaxing completely your breath. And again, inhale through your nose. Feeling perhaps something is expanding naturally in your belly, in your chest. And exhale. And your whole body is very spacious. So you can push down through the sit bones and feel that your spine is naturally very long, but there is no rigidity. It's a comfortable position for you. So every time you exhale, please take all the time you need to fully empty your lungs. Notice if there is still a little bit of air that you can release. And again, one more inhale. Let's start synchronizing a bit more together. And a full exhalation. And let's add on some counts. So we inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale. And I encourage you now to try perhaps 3 to 5 rounds. You can always come back to your natural breath. You can actually slow down the exhalation even more. Maybe it's 8 counts instead of 6. And allow the weight of your shoulders to drop. Your belly to be soft. No need to hold on to your belly at all. Exploring that emptying of the lungs completely. So perhaps take again one more round to close this practice. And in your own time, when you have taken the last slow exhalation, you can release your hands on your knees. You can take a couple of breaths in the most natural way. No need to control anything. But perhaps notice if you can feel any shifts in the way you're feeling. How is your mind feeling right now? Good. And when you're ready to, you might start introducing a couple of movements with the neck and the shoulders. So do anything that feels, again, intuitively pleasant for you, as if you're just waking up. Good. And when you feel ready to join me, we're going to come into a tabletop, getting now a bit more into the wholeness of the body. So find your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. And spread your fingertips, because this part of the practice is about grounding. So it's about recognizing the support from whatever is underneath you. So let's begin into gentle mobility of the back. When we inhale, we can curl the spine, dropping the head, maybe pulling the navel gently in. And as you exhale, gently open through the chest, sticking the tailbone out. And again, inhale, rounding through the spine. See if you can softly abandon your neck. And exhale, widen across the chest. So sometimes when we are a little bit stressed, a little bit panicky, we lose connection with the ground. We feel our legs are a bit weak, they might shake. So a great tool with the body to recreate that sense of stability and strength and safety is to press into the earth. So can you do this a couple more times? actively pushing your fingertips, actively pushing your shins, feeling some tone in your muscles. Lovely. And you can continue doing the same thing in this position. If you want to increase a bit more the energy, you can tuck your toes, and when you take the exhalation, you're actually lifting the hips nice and high into a downward facing dog. So you can inhale to come down, curl the back, and then as you exhale, you can press up. Let the head be heavy. Always, always inviting the neck to relax so you can induce that relaxation response. So take this a couple more times. If you're coming into downward facing dog, you can really feel your toes spreading, and perhaps your feet become, again, a bit more grounded. And let's go for one last time, shifting forward and lifting up. So let's all move actually into this downward facing dog. If it's in your pose, you just have to spread your fingers and take the feet more or less as wide as your hips, and you can walk on spot. So you can open up the back of your knees. Your head is heavy, your arms are strong. And notice anything you're feeling through your hands and your feet. So notice the texture of the mat, if you have a mat, or your rug. Notice the temperature of the floor, the pressure. How does it feel to press your heels or your toes on the floor? Lovely. And then let's walk until maybe your feet come halfway through the mat and your hands come towards your feet. And your knees are soft, so we stay into a forward fold. And I invite you to catch the opposite elbow and now really drop the weight of your head and swing side to side. So you can move your elbows to one side and the other. Again, the invitation is to keep everything very soft, especially allowing the back of the neck to open, your hips to be mobile, and your breath to be full. The breath is one of the best ways to notice if we are into the fight or flight state, the hypervigilant state of the nervous system, or if we are in the relaxed state. Usually we breathe a bit more slowly when we are relaxed, right, than when we are agitated. So notice if you are holding the breath or accelerating a lot, and see if you can go back to that steady, slow-paced breath we just practiced. Now pause into center and start rolling through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Slowly. And when you come up to stand, spread your toes, maybe have a little walk on spot to feel right foot, left foot. Again, that deep connection with your roots, with the ground. And as you inhale, you can begin rising up through your arms. And as you exhale, you can soften through the knees and press your palms down. Like a little French press. Again, we inhale to push the throat away, strong into the legs. And as we exhale, we give a weight and we soften again. Let's go 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. And let's take the very last one. Lovely. As we exhale, we take the hands softly into the center of the heart and roll the shoulders down. From here, we begin taking a bit more stretching for our legs so that we can explore again the relaxation response induced by the length into our muscles. And we do it through a flow. So you can come at the front of your space, wherever you are. Stand nice and tall. And with the next inhale, allow the arms to rise up, wherever they want to go. And as you exhale, softly bend your knees and release your body again into the forward fold. Inhale, hands can come to the floor or on your shins, lengthen halfway. Keep the neck long. And as you exhale, release your head down again. Inhale, come all the way up. Lift your arms to the sky. Exhale, take your hands to the center of your heart. And one more like this. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, let it go completely. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Soft knees. Exhale, your head drops completely. Inhale, press from the earth, lift up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, repeat the same movement up. Exhale, release down. Inhale, lengthen. Now step your right foot back and come to a low lunge. You're going to keep the right knee off the floor if that's available. And now maybe spider fingers or hands fully down. Begin rocking the weight slightly forward and back. So if that's more comfortable for you, you can keep the knee on the floor. Maybe a little movement forward and back. You can also step your foot on the outside of your hands. Just give yourself some space and get into your hips. So I just encourage you to move in a way that feels pleasant for your muscles. Another very important takeaway, something you can do to stimulate the relaxation response in your nervous system, is to open up and lengthen the big muscles in your body, and especially in your legs. These are quite big muscles for us. Again, when the brain receives the signal that your muscles are long and they are not hyper contracted, it understands you are in a safe situation. So always check on yourself. How contracted, how stiff are your muscles? And you might be constantly sending a message to your brain that you might have to be alerted, even when you actually can be a bit more relaxed. So let's pose now into a little half split. You're going to shift the weight on the back knee and you can tuck your toes. Always place something under your knee if you need it. And take that left foot in line with the left hip. You can flex through your toes or you can keep the toes down, the knee bend. And spend a little bit more time here, shifting the weight forward and back to open up the left hamstrings. Notice if your face starts getting a bit more contracted or if you can keep that softness, the plugging of the shoulders down. Notice what is going on for you in your breath as well. Lovely. Now from here, pose into a place that feels good. You can flex your toes if you wish. As you inhale, lengthen your chest forward. Exhale, release the head, a lot or a little, but try and let the crown of the head move down. So keep the back of the neck long. Now let's hold this position for about 3 more breaths. Your belly can be soft. If you have a hard time to relax the neck, you can move it ever so slightly side to side. Beautiful. Take one more inhale, and now as you exhale, in your own way, step your left foot back and come into downward facing dog. Lifting high through your sit bones, maybe walking on spot. And then go ahead, bring your feet to the front of the mat. Feel the earth under your hands, under your feet. And then come up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. Let's try the second side. Inhale. Exhale, easy forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Now left foot steps back. Again, keep the knee off the ground or on the mat and begin rocking slightly forward and back. So slowly, slowly, it's the way in. Maybe you want to move the foot to the side so your hands are inside, or you might want to drop the back knee down, whatever feels comfortable to you. And really get very curious about the sensations in your body. That's a great way to take a break if the mind is ruminating a lot over thoughts about the past and the future. It is so rooting to connect to the sensations of the body, of course, without judging them, without getting scared. Just really mindfully checking in how your hips are feeling, how your shoulders are feeling. Beautiful. And now pose. Let's take that little half split. So walk your right foot, if it's not there yet, in line with your right hip. And shift the weight on your left shin, bringing your right foot forward. You can start flexing and pointing. So shifting the awareness now to the right hamstrings. If it feels good, you can already drop the head. And when you're ready, pose with your toes flexed or the knee bent, whatever you feel, maybe 60 or 80% of sensations. And take a full breath, lengthening through the crown of the head forward. And as you exhale, allow your belly to come closer to the thigh and the neck to switch off. So again, let's take about 3 breaths here. Helping the whole body
relax by allowing the head to get a bit heavier. And maintaining that breath into that steady, grounded pace. One more time, come back into downward facing dog. Push the hips nice and high. Feel the strength of your arms, of your legs. Feel the sensations you can receive from your hands, from your feet. And then allow your knees to come all the way down, coming into a seated position. So let's continue into that stretching part. Now going into a little bit longer stretches. So let's begin with the left foot forward. And taking the right foot in. So again, working through the hamstrings. You can bend the knee, you can stick the tailbone out ever so slightly, and then interlock your fingers, catch your left toes. Take a full inhale, and as you exhale, guide your knee to move towards the nose to the knee. So we come now into a great place where, again, your neck has a chance to drop and where your big muscles in the body have a chance as well to lengthen. So the left heel can move forward if you wish. Your shoulders can plug down. And if it feels good for you, you can, again, begin exhaling a little bit longer than inhaling. So noticing if you can fully empty your lungs every time. As you exhale, there is again that natural relaxation in the body happening. So your muscles can also feel a bit more supple. Let's stay here for one more full inhale. One more deep exhale. Then take your time to roll all the way back and up. Grab hold of that same knee you have bent and place the foot on the side of that leg. We lengthen through the lower back. You can use your right fingertips behind you, left arm up. And as we exhale, we twist up and over. And you can catch your knee with your elbow, or you can have a little push from the outside. Maybe you can rest your hand onto the shoulder. So take a full breath again in without any straining. Exhale, invite your chest to spiral a bit more. And connect to any sensations on your back. Good, one more full inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Now allow this knee to come all the way up and over to the left one. So we come into a half shoelace. And one more time, we walk forward. So here you can stay really high. You can move towards your foot. Can you invite your belly to fully relax? No need to keep your abdominals in. No one is watching. Really let them be. And then invite your chin and your head to drop as well. And you might feel there is immediately a long sensation of stretching to the back of the hamstrings. If you have any issues here to your knees, you can also come down onto the back and do this instead. You can keep the crossing of the knees and perhaps catch the shins or the ankles and pull them in. So you can begin feeling something perhaps on the side of the hips. So as you stay in one of these two options, again, start scanning through the body for any places that might be still a bit gripping. So you might feel some tension in the neck, in the back, in your shoulders, in your legs. And you can quietly invite them to take a little rest. Beautiful. One more full breath without forcing, very light and quiet. And one more full exhalation. And then come all the way back and up to seat. And let's swap side. So beginning now to bring the left foot in, right leg long, bending through the right knee, catching your toes. And moving the knee and the nose closer together. That might be the point you stay, or you choose to actually shift a bit more forward. So breathing slowly through your nose and exhaling, releasing down. And my encouragement is to keep everything to a 60-80% of sensations. sometimes when we go to 90, 100%, instead of relaxing, we actually create even more activity in the body. So that seems to be like a good intensity where you're definitely opening up your muscles and creating transformation, but your whole nervous system can still feel safe because you're not over pushing. You're not even thinking about achieving anything. Yeah. So once you get the shape, imagine gravity is doing everything for you. Again, pay specific attention to any gripping into the neck and shoulders. And if it can be useful, you can gently move the head side to side. You can also exhale through your mouth. Even make a sound as you exhale. Now take your time to roll back and up. Let's move into that twist, bringing the left foot on the outside of your right leg. Sitting nice and tall, we lengthen up through your right arm just for a moment, and then we twist up and over to the left side. So by using the little hugging in, you can feel more connection between your belly and your thigh, and the lower back can lengthen more. Or you can use that little leverage of the elbow. And then when you feel ready, come back to center for our last seated posture, bringing the left knee over to the right. Again, walking the fingers forward and softening your belly, softening your chest, maybe your head. So if that's too intense, again, please give yourself complete permission to come into a different place, perhaps catching the ankles, perhaps the knees. What we're looking at here is some opening into the side of the glutes. And notice if your eyes can soften. They can be closed or open, but imagine you want to switch off all the tiny muscles around your eyes. So the space between your eyebrows can also broaden into that state of calm relaxation. Breathing in through the nose without any straining. And breathing out fully, with no rush to take the next breath. Lovely, stay here for one more full inhale. And now exhale, walking the hands back and in. Allow your legs to lengthen in front of you. If you're already on your back, that's where you will stay. And take your time to lay fully with your knees into the chest, giving yourself a big hug. Feeling finally the weight of the head resting on the ground and perhaps rocking side to side. Again, as you rock side to side, check that your head can also move. So we are unwinding any path of restriction into the neck. We soften all the muscles around the throat. And then when you're ready, let your knees drop up and over to the left. We come into a spinal twist. Your right arm can rest on the floor. You can go a bit deeper, crossing your top knee over to the bottom one. Maybe looking over to the opposite shoulder. So taking your time to ground, rest. And then coming up and over to the other side again. Move your knees close to your chest, but all the way down to the floor as you make more space between your left shoulder and your left hip. Feet, arms, facial muscles are fully allowed to switch off. Gorgeous. And then find your way to come back to center. We're going to close today with any position that really feels safe and grounding for you. So I'm going to offer you two, but then you choose whatever comes to you. One option is to come to constructive rest. You're going to take your feet quite wide and then drop the knees inwards so that your thighs can fully switch off. And you will notice perhaps the lower back has a tiny gap from the floor. So that's really where your spine is into the most neutral, comfortable place. And you can bring your hands on your body or on the ground, whatever works for you. or you come to a very standard traditional relaxation with your legs and your arms long. So take a moment to find your space of full relaxation. And gently allow your eyes to close or to be soft. In a way, you can travel back to your breath. And as you inhale through your nose, you can feel the expansion of the chest, the back, your belly. And as you exhale, everything softens towards the earth. So feel your body is fully supported by whatever it is touching. Your body gets in a bit heavier in a good way. Perhaps it can be useful to scan through every point of contact of the body with the floor. And every time you exhale, can you give 1% more of weight? Can you drop into that relaxation a little bit more? Make yourself a bit more comfortable. Allow the space between your eyebrows to be broad and relaxed. Your fingertips, your toes to be fully relaxed. Your shoulders well away from your ears so your neck is long. And if you have the gift of time, please, I encourage you to stay here as long as possible. To just enjoy the wave of the breath, getting a bit slower. And all your muscles feel a little bit more soft. But if you want to close this practice here with me, you can perhaps stay on your back or roll on a side very slowly. And as you come into a comfortable seated position, you can bring your hands, one on your chest, one on your belly, and notice any shifts you might feel. So notice anything that might have changed since we started working together. Really treasuring these sensations, this capacity we have to influence our mind, our nervous system through the movement and the breath. So thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for your practice. If you have any questions, please do get in touch with me. But again, as a takeaway for today, I invite you to slow down the exhalation, number 1, to stretch your neck, your shoulders, but also the big muscles of the body, number 2, and then to remember that something like the earth is always supporting you. So touch the ground, press down, engage your feet and your legs to get a big sense of stability and safety.